Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to explain how to solve question 1 in C++. The question 1 asks us to write a program that accepts two integer values from the user and calculates the sum, the difference, the product, the quotient. So I'll explain the logic step by step so that even if someone has never written C++ before, they can understand the process. So now let's begin. Before writing the code, we need to understand what the question is asking. So the question says, take two integers from the user. An integer simply means a whole number. So we have 5, 10, 20, even 100. They are all there. So after collecting these numbers, we calculate for operations. The first is addition. The second is subtraction. Third is multiplication, and fourth is division. So imagine our inputs are 10 and 12. 10 and 2. Addition gives us 12. So subtraction will then be 8. And then multiplication gives 20, whereas division gives 5. So that means we are building a simple calculator using C++. Now I open my C++ file inside VS Code, as you are seeing here. The first thing in most C++ programs is importing the library. This gives the program access to input and output tools. Next, we have the main function. The main function, this is where the computer begins reading our instructions. So the thing is, it's supposed to be a clear instruction. No back ways about it. So I think when learning this, we're taught by a lecturer that it's like preparing tea. So let's say you want to prepare tea, someone who has never prepared tea before, or maybe a specific kind of food, any kind of food before. You need to be very, very specific so the person knows everything. For instance, if you are preparing tea, what's the quantity of sugar to pour? Probably the person has a whole container of sugar. Should the person pour or should pour a specific quantity, maybe 1 spoon, 2 spoons? That's how it's supposed to be. And so after that, then you create the variables. Variables are like containers. They store information. So I create first number, second number. Then I go to the sum. So first number, second number, sum, difference, product, and quotient, as you are seeing on the screen. Now ask the user to enter the first value. When the user types the value, the program stores it. Then I repeat the same for the second value. So once both values are stored, then I perform the calculations. So for the sum, I use the plus operator. For the difference, we use a minus. The multiplication, I use the multiplication operator. And for division, the division operator. So then after that, then I tell the program to display the results. So now let's imagine someone runs this code after properly setting up C++. So mind you, you need an extension. That's after you are done downloading VS Code the proper way. You could also use C++ program for this. VS Code, you can also use VS Code for this. So any of your choice. C++ is only for C++, but VS Code you could use to code any type, whether it's Java, Python, any other. So it is more hybrid than that of the C++ program. So now let's imagine the input. The input will be 8 and 2. So that's when you run it. 8 and 2, the two numbers or two values, 8 and 2. The expected output would be the sum. The sum first to equal 10. That's for the two numbers we used. The difference will be 6. 8 minus 2 gives us 6. But the program is supposed to run that for you, calculate that for you. The product equals 16, the quotient equals 4. Now let's take another example. Let's take using these two numbers 20 and 5. The expected output should be the sum, which equals 25, the difference, which equals 15, the product, which equals 100, and the quotient, which equals 4. So this shows that the same code can solve many problems depending on the values entered. So you think of this like a calculator. Like I said earlier, the calculator waits, you enter the numbers, it processes the numbers, then shows the answers. Then programming that we are doing works the same way. You give the instructions, the computer follows them. So that is why variables, operators, and inputs are very important. Once you understand these concepts, you can build more advanced programs later. So that completes question 1. In this program, we've collected two integers from the user. We've applied arithmetic operators. We've displayed the result. So this exercise demonstrates the basics of C++ programming. So this is where we end it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for your time. And hopefully we'll meet another time.